All right, so beginning our practice, finding that comfortable seat, beginning to move in a circle, noticing the stretch in the low back. And even if you're moving slowly, see if you can move a little more slowly. And maybe the circle as you begin to spiral out. And again, whether you're sitting on the floor or you're sitting on a chair, same motion. And then if you like, begin to circle the other way. And maybe you start in a bigger circle and slowly move your way in. Nice. And then come back to sitting. Maybe now turn your palms up. Gently press one shoulder back and press the other shoulder back. And if you like, maybe set an intention for your practice today. Right? Each of us joined for our own reasons. So maybe pick one reason that you have chosen to take this hour out of your day. Whether it is because it's what you like to do on Mondays at 1. And some of you have been taking this class with me literally for years. Maybe just try something new, or just to get some exercise, or to practice some ways to manage your own stress. So pick, if you like, run one of those reasons through your mind. And we'll take 5 breaths, eyes open or eyes closed, your choice. And let's start with wave breath. So we'll do 5. As you breathe in, hands lift. As you breathe out, hands release. As you breathe in, hands lift. As you breathe out, release. As you breathe in, hands lift. As you breathe out, hands release. So always breathe in a comfortable way. As you breathe in, hands lift. As you breathe out, release. And one more. Breathe in and the hands lift. Breath out. Hands release. Shake out one hand and then shake out the other hand. And begin to circle the wrists one way and circle the wrists the other way. Shake out one hand again. Maybe shake them both together. And then if you like, take your hands either to the sides of your chair or to the floor or the carpet. And again, move one shoulder back and then the other shoulder back. So we'll take 3 breaths here. As you breathe in, press down on your hands as firmly as you can. And then as you breathe out, release the press on the hands. As you breathe in, press as firmly as you can, as is comfortable on your hands. Shoulders are back. And as you breathe out, hands release. And one more if you like. As you breathe in, hands press, maybe the fingertips on the floor, your hands on the chair. And as you breathe out, release. All right. Take one hand, keep one hand on the side of your chair or the fingertips on the floor. And as you breathe in, lift the other arm a comfortable amount. Maybe the hand is out to the side. Maybe the fingers reach toward the ceiling. Or maybe today, it feels good to reach the arm over your head. Wherever you are, when you feel a stretch on the side, just wiggle your fingers. When you feel a stretch, wiggle your fingers. And then as you like, bring that hand either to the side of your chair or fingertips to the floor. And next time you breathe in, lift the arm, again, a comfortable amount just stretching the muscles on the side, the other side. And when you feel a stretch, wiggle your fingers. And then come back down. All right, so before we stand up, I'm going to do a little bit of warming the core muscles. Right? So, and again, you can do this seated on the floor, you can do it seated on a chair. So if you're on the floor and you've been sitting on a blanket, just move it to the side. If you're sitting on a chair, just move forward so that you've got room behind you. Okay? Big toes are on, yeah, it'll work. Big toes are on the carpet or the floor. One shoulder back, other shoulder back. Right. So bring your arms out, keep the shoulders back. Right. As you breathe in, stretch the fingers wide. And as you breathe out, release back any amount. Right. Keeping the feet on the floor. Release back any amount. When you feel your core muscles working, press your fingers together. When you notice that you're breathing, stretch the fingers wide. Okay. And then when you're ready, come back up. One shoulder back, other shoulder back. So we're going to do this 3 more times, just to warm the core. So arms out, shoulders back, breath in. And as you breathe out, keep big toes on the floor. Just release back any amount till you feel some core muscles. And when you notice that, oh yeah, core muscles are working, fingers together. And when you notice that you're breathing, stretch the fingers wide. And then when you're ready, come back up. One shoulder back, other shoulder back. Okay. So we'll do it 2 more times if you like. And you may go back a little bit more, or you may find that for the last 2, it's more comfortable. It's easier to breathe if you go back an inch or 2. It all has benefit. Arms out, one shoulder back, other shoulder back. Breath in, and a long, slow breath out if that's comfortable. And just release back, feel your big toes pressing on the floor. And again, when you notice core muscles, stretch your fingers wide. And when you notice that you're breathing, press the fingers together. And whenever you're ready, come back up. Okay. Shake out one hand and shake out the other hand. Okay, we'll do it 1 more time. You may choose to go back ½ an inch. That's fine. You're still breathing and strengthening. One shoulder back, other shoulder back. Okay. Fingers stretched wide. Breath in. As you breathe out, release back any amount. And same thing if you like. When you feel core, stretch your fingers wide. And again, when you notice that you're breathing, fingers press. You know, this is the very last one, so you choose how many breaths you want to hold this for. You're never stuck. You can come up a little. If you want a little more challenge today, you can go back. So maybe you have 1 more breath. Feel the breath in. Long, slow breath out. When, as Joanne would say, check. All right, that was us not holding breath. All right, before we stand up, we will do a gentle spinal stretch in the form of a twist. And again, you can do it if you're sitting in a chair, or you can do it seated on the floor. Either way, shoulders are back. Okay. Breathe in. And then as you breathe out, bring your hands across to one side. And notice if it's easy to breathe. Okay? If it is easy to breathe, you're probably in a good stretch. Right? If it's not easy to breathe, then come out of it a little. So find a place where it's easy to breathe. If you like, the hand that's on the leg, again, seated or on the floor, press this leg out while you pull in So this leg is pressing out, this hand is pulling in, but there's no visible movement. So you're creating that resistance, and just notice how that changes the stretch. Right? That's your fine tune button. So if you like, find a rhythm here, maybe 3 more breaths. As you breathe in, press down on your hands. And as you breathe out, notice where you feel the stretch. As you breathe in, press down on both hands. And as you breathe out, notice where you feel the stretch. And you can adjust. You can make the twist a little different if you like. Maybe 1 more. As you breathe, any breath in, press down on your hands. This lengthens the spine. This lengthens the spine so you're not pressing bone on bone. And then whenever you're ready, come back to facing front. And if you're sitting in a chair, hands above your knees. If you're sitting on the floor, maybe hands below your knees. Either way, the stretch can be done. So as you breathe in, chin lifts, shoulders back. And as you breathe out, tuck in. And 1 more. Breath in, chin lifts, shoulders back. And as you breathe out, tuck in. Okay, and now we'll twist, we'll create that same twist to the other side as you are ready. So hands above your knees, 1 shoulder back, other shoulder back. Again, this is to protect the low back. Next time you breathe in, push down on your hands. And as you breathe out, create that twist to the other side. If you want more twist, create resistance. Take that hand that's on the side of the leg, pull in and push that leg out. And just notice how that changes the twist. Maybe 2 more breaths here. As you breathe in, press down on your hands. And as you breathe out, notice where you feel the twist. So finding your own rhythm here. It might be as you breathe in, press down on your hands. And as you breathe out, notice where you feel the twist. And then as you're ready, come back to facing front. All right, so now if you like, come up to standing, come up to standing. If you have anything on your mat, you can move it to the side. All right, so finding a comfortable place to stand. Yeah, shake out 1 hand, then shake out the other hand. So in keeping with our efforts to warm the spine, gently stretch the spine, now that we're standing, lift 1 shoulder and drop the other, right? And you might be moving 1 inch, you might be moving 6 inches, right? But just focusing, if you like, on the shoulder movement. So lift, put some muscle energy into lifting 1 shoulder and dropping the other. And just again, find your own rhythm, right? Notice if you feel the stretch, stretching the sides. And you might even like to envision what's happening in your spine. As you go to the side, you're opening up the spaces between each vertebra and you're squeezing the discs on that side. And this is how 1 way that you keep them hydrated so they don't shrink. Yeah, because and then come back to standing, hands on your hips. All right, as you breathe in, push down. And as you breathe out, same arc over. And if you like, lift 1 foot. A little bit of a balance. And if you like, circle 1 foot and circle the other way. And then come back. All right, breathe in, push down. And then if you like, release to the other side. Okay? And to build core, perhaps lift the other foot. Today may be a day to keep both feet on the mat and focus on the stretch. Right? But if you want to build core, lift and maybe circle the toes that way. Yeah. And then come back to standing tall. All right, shake out one hand and shake out the other hand. Gently make two fists. Right? And then in whatever way is comfortable, perhaps the fists go on your hips, perhaps they go in the middle of the hip bone. Gentle bend in your knees. Just create a little bit of a supported back bend, right? So you press right onto the hip bone, not the low back. The hip bone, little bend in the knees. Notice you have a bend in your knees. Perhaps keep the chin parallel to the floor. Right? So this is actually seating the sacrum. A little bit of a back bend. And then as you're ready, come back up. All right. Bring the feet apart. Maybe look down at the feet. At your feet, I should say. Rock from one side, inside edges, to the outside edges. And if you like, you start with a gentle motion. And then if that feels good, maybe bring a little more hip into it. So hip goes to one side and you're still rocking the feet. Yeah. And maybe moving the fingers. Maybe bring your feet a little farther apart. And these are just different ways to do these stretches, depending on what kind of hip stretch feels good to you today. Maybe the knees bend a little, but noticing that your shoulders are back, right? So you're not hunched forward while you're doing the shoulders are back to protect the low back. As you look for a stretch that feels good today. Maybe the heel comes up as you bend one knee and then the other. Okay. Then you're either going to jump back to center or heel and toe. So you can hop or you can heel and toe. Okay, palms are forward. Still building core, building core. Step one foot forward. And if you like, move the foot across you or across the front. All right, this front leg, push the hip back. All right, so this is core because it's balance. I'm going to balance with the breath. You can always move your foot back. You're never stuck. All right, looking ahead, looking straight ahead, maybe fixing your gaze on something. 5 breaths as you breathe in. Shift your weight forward. Maybe the back heel comes off the mat. And then maybe a long, slow breath out feels good. As you breathe in, shift forward. As you breathe out, shift back. And so always breathing in a comfortable way. As you breathe in, shift forward. As you breathe out, shift back. So 2 more. As you breathe in, shift forward, so building core, and maybe that long, slow breath out feels like a good breathing pattern today. Okay. And then move that front foot and come back to standing. And before we do that on the other side, just shake out one hand, just find things to shake. Right? Move your hips, move your shoulders, shake one hand and shake the other hand. Okay. And then stand as still as you would like to stand. All right, one shoulder back, other shoulder back. And now the other foot comes forward. Right? Maybe it comes across the front of your mat. Or maybe you try it and, I'm going to move back. So you can always adjust. You're never stuck. This time we're going to take 5 breaths and move back. So we're still building core. And if you like, still practicing the long, slow breath out. So as you are ready, palms face back. So breath in and rock back. Whatever that means to you today. And breathe out, release. Maybe the front toes come up. Breath in, press your hands back, lift the foot. And as you breathe out, even weight on the feet. Right? And so you may not be lifting the front toes, that's fine too. Maybe a more subtle shift today. Next time you breathe in, press back. And as you breathe out, release. And two more. Breath in, press back. And breath out, release. Right. Shake out one hand and shake out the other hand. I actually lost count, so I don't know, maybe there was one more, but you probably did 5. Okay, sorry about that. Somebody, just want to see if this is from somebody from the class. They just texted. Okay, this is Joanne, and I'm going to send her, I'm going to send Joanne the link because she can't find it. So while I'm doing that, if you like, hands over your heart and to yourself, your own, your mind. If you like, say to yourself 5 times, feel the breath in, feel the breath out. Okay, I sent Joanne the link again. Hopefully she'll get it. All right. We are ever flexible. All right, let's do our warrior. Let's do the warrior 2 flow, which is a power pose. Right? To build core strength. So let's take one foot forward and step the other foot back. Right? That back foot, you want parallel. Back foot, you want parallel to the back edge of the mat. Okay? And the front foot parallel to the front edge of the mat or your wall if you're doing it, if you're not using the mat, which is fine too. All right, take your front hand and just tap your leg and bend your front knee. Just a comfortable amount, Back hand on the back hip. Okay. Breathe in, grip all 10 toes and all 10 fingers. Long, slow breath out. Release the grip. Keep your back hand on your back hip and extend your front arm over your front leg, palm up. Okay, so from here, I'm going to do reverse order. We're going to do exalted warrior first. So if you like, bend, straighten your front leg and just extend. So reach through that lifted arm. It might be here, You may choose to do more of a lateral stretch. It's what feels good to you today. This back hand, press. So instead of collapsing, you're pressing down on that hand wherever you are. Your arm could be here. When you feel a stretch anywhere, wiggle your fingers. When you feel any stretch, wiggle your fingers. Okay, from here, shake out one hand, shake out the other, bend your front knee. To build more muscle, you might want to lift the front heel. Shoulders are back. Full warrior 2. We'll take 3 breaths here. Breathe in, fingers spread wide. As you breathe out, release the breath in the arms. As you breathe in, stretch the fingers wide. As you breathe out, release. And one more. As you breathe in, stretch the fingers wide. As you breathe out, release the breath, release the hands. All right. And here, do our free stretch, which simply means find things to stretch. And so you can move your feet, you can move your hips, move your shoulders. Just find things to stretch. Find things to stretch. Right. And you may feel that a gentle stretch works better today, feels better today. Right? So there's nowhere that you're trying to go in any of these stretches. It's just, okay, let's see what feels good. As you're moving, if you haven't yet felt a stretch across your shoulder blades, maybe move in a way that allows you to feel that stretch across the shoulder blades. And there are different ways to stretch to feel those muscles stretching. All right, and then continue on if you like until you find one stretch that you want to hold. What feels like a good stretch, and you'll hold it for 3 breaths. Anytime that you are coming forward, you want to keep a bend in your knees so you don't hyperextend. So finding a stretch to hold as you breathe in, feel the belly and the chest expand. And as you breathe out, just notice yourself release into the stretch. As you breathe in, chest and belly expand. And as you breathe out, feel the release. Yeah. And then as you're ready, just a little more stretch. All right, and then come back to standing before we do the other side. Hands over your heart. Hands over your heart. When you feel your heart beating, switch hands, put the other hand on top. Right. 5 breaths. Based on how you're feeling right now, if you're feeling tired, a long breath in is energizing. Right? If you're feeling like you want to practice the calming breath, the lower the heart rate, lower the blood pressure, that's the long breath out. So based on how you're feeling right now, and if you're bathing in a sea of equanimity, even breath in, even breath out, meaning you're not trying to perk up and you're not trying to calm down, just maintain. Right? So pick a breathing pattern. Feel the breath in. Feel the breath out. Feel the breath in. Feel the breath out. So always breathe in a comfortable way. If you like, say the last 3 to yourself in your mind, because you're always with you. Say the last 3 breaths to yourself in your mind. Not rushing the breath, not rushing your words. Feel the breath in. Feel the breath out. And then let your hands come down. Shake out one hand and shake out the other hand. And now we'll do the warrior flow on the other side. So the other leg is forward and the other leg is back. And again, that back foot. Let's see. No. Here's where we get a front row seat to Yael's absolute and total reversal problem. Yeah, all right. Anyway, you're on your other side. I think I might be too. Doesn't matter. You're on the other side. Back foot, back edge of the mat, front foot is parallel to the front edge. All right. I'm not on this. I haven't Ha, there we go. Okay, we have to keep our senses of humor. Shoulders are back. Right, this we're going to do in reverse order. So 3 times as you breathe in, arms stretch. As you breathe out, release. As you breathe in, fingers stretch. Notice your shoulders are back, and as you breathe out, hands release, breath releases. And one more breath in. So here as you breathe out, keep the arms extended. Bend the front knee for full warrior 2, full power pose. If you want more muscle engagement, lift your front heel. Notice that your shoulders are back. Notice that your fingers are stretched. And you pick the number of breaths for which you want to hold this. Maybe 2 more, maybe 1 more, maybe 3 more. So feeling the breath in and just noticing the breath out. Feel the breath in. Notice when you breathe out. Let the hands come down, straighten the front leg, back hand on the back hip, palm faces up. This is the exalted warrior. So extend the arm. Maybe the arm is parallel to the floor. In any stop anyway along, arcing over your head, any position, just whatever feels good. Right? So find that place that feels like a good stretch. Notice that you're pressing onto that back hip. And maybe 1 more breath here. As you breathe in, stretch the top fingers wide. And as you breathe out, press the fingers together. Maybe 1 more. As you breathe in, stretch the fingers wide. And as you breathe out, press the fingers together. And let the arm come down. Okay, and then on this side, hey Joanne, I'm recording this, so can you? Stretching from one side to the other side. Joanne, you need to mute, okay? Just finding things to stretch. Okay. There we go. All right. Maybe moving your hips, maybe moving your shoulders. And again, today they may be very gentle movements, right? Or today you may find that more of the stretch feels like it's a good idea today, right? So as you're moving, find one stretch to hold, whatever it may be. And if you're bending forward, keep a bend in your knee, okay? Whether it's like this or just anytime you come forward, you want a little bend in your knee. Yeah. So breath in, feel the chest and belly lift. So you maybe found a stretch to hold, but not holding the breath. And as you breathe out, release. Breath in, feel the chest and belly lift. And as you breathe out, feel yourself perhaps release into the stretch, even if it's an 1/8 of an inch, just using that long, slow breath out, right, to release into the stretch, because that long breath out may release the muscle tension. And then as you're ready, come back up. Okay, so in keeping with our stretching, let's do our back stretch. So if you're using a chair, stand behind the chair, and then remembering, no matter how far forward you're going, it's still bending forward. So to keep the low back safe, we do three things. Shoulders back, hips back, knees bent. Shoulders back, hips back, knees bent. This may be your back stretch right here. And if your shoulders are back and your hips are back, you may be able to feel stretches maybe in your legs as you release muscles in the low back. So you can adjust your stretch by moving your feet back. But it's the same, we're checking the same for the same alignment to protect the low back. Shoulders back, hips back, knees bent. Right? This may be a comfortable stretch for you today, or this might feel good. Right? There's nowhere that you're trying to go. It's noticing what feels like a good stretch today. And so finding a place where it's easy to breathe. That can be a good gauge. If it's easy to breathe, you're probably not stressing your system. All right, so from here, begin to pedal the feet if that feels good. And maybe you come up a bit, that's fine. Or maybe you have found a deeper stretch. That's what you need. Different days, different stretches. So wherever you are, if it feels good, just pedaling the feet. Pedaling the feet. You can always adjust. And then as you're ready, come back up. And then before we do another stretch, we do the shoulder rolls 3 forward and 3 back. So maybe shake out one hand and shake out the other hand. Okay, as you breathe in, shoulders lift. And as you breathe out, shoulders roll back and down. Just slowly as feels good. So the next time you breathe in, shoulders lift. And as you breathe out, maybe stop halfway down. Maybe stop halfway down in the stretch and take another whole breath. And then finish the roll. And maybe one more back. As you breathe in, shoulders lift. And as you breathe out, back and down. Okay, and then to complement that, 3 shoulder rolls forward. So we'll stretch what we just released. As you breathe in, shoulders lift. And as you breathe out, tuck. Shoulders roll forward and down. Okay, breath in, shoulders lift. And as you breathe out, shoulders roll forward and down. Okay, and then the third one, if you like, we'll stop halfway down. So holding the stretch, but not the breath. So you keep breathing. As you breathe in, shoulders lift. And as you breathe out, shoulders roll forward. Maybe stop halfway down. Keep breathing. So literally stretching from the inside out. And then if you like, continue on. All right, hands on your hips. Breathe in, push down. And as you breathe out, lateral stretch. Breath in, push down on your hips. And as you breathe out, release to the other side. To any degree that feels comfortable. And then as you're ready, come back to standing tall. All right, shake out one hand and shake out the other hand. Okay, so we'll do one more standing before we sit. All right, so we'll do this 3 times. As you breathe in, hands, fingertips press overhead, look up and stretch up. And as you breathe out, maybe the chin tucks, maybe the fingertips touch the sides of your legs. We'll do this 2 more times. On your breath in, Palms press overhead, look up, stretch up. And as you breathe out, chin tucks, fingertips to the sides of your legs, gentle press. Always breathe in a comfortable way. So the next time that you breathe in, hands lift, you pick fingertips or palms press. And as you breathe out, fingertips to the sides of your legs. Okay, and then come back to standing. Shake out one hand and shake out the other. So now we'll do that same stretch, shoulder stretch, 3 more times. Option of adding bending the knees. So if you like, bend your knees a little, just to get a sense of how you want to do this, the second part of this stretch. Maybe bending the knees a little feels good. Keep the shoulders back and hips back. Maybe you come down a little more, but keep the hips pressing back, knees are bent. Maybe today you come all the way down, heels lift. Or any variation, maybe you're bending the knees an inch is what feels good today. So that's or you may choose to keep the knees straight and focus on the shoulder stretch. Okay, so as you like, breathe in, fingertips press overhead, look up, stretch up. And as you breathe out, keep the fingertips pressing together. Bend the knees any amount. Hips go back. As you breathe in, look up, palms press, palms press. And as you breathe out, release down, palms still pressing. Hips are back. And one more. As you breathe in, hands lift, palms or fingertips press. And then as you breathe out, you're going to release down. However far down you're coming today, hold there, right? Hold that stretch, but not your breath. Maybe pedal your feet. Notice that you're breathing. When you notice that you're breathing, palms apart, fingertips press. When you notice that you're breathing, palms apart, fingertips press. Okay. And then as you're ready, use any breath in to come back up, and hands over your heart, hands over your heart. When you feel your heart beating, pedal your feet. When you feel your heart beating, pedal your feet. Lift one heel, press on the toes. Lift the other heel, press on the toes. Yeah. And then let your hands come down. All right. Let's actually come down to the floor to do some back stretches. So finding a comfortable place on the floor. And from here, we'll move into our final stretch. So if you know that you're going to want to put a mat or a pillow or a blanket under your knees for final stretch, have it handy. We're not there yet. We're still going to do some back releases. All right, so as you like, using the floor as a prop, because when you lie on the floor, feet under your knees, when you lie on the floor, all of the muscles that usually hold you up can release. Okay? So if you like, just as a way of optimizing our stretches, roll onto one shoulder and tuck the other shoulder under. And then roll onto that shoulder and tuck the other shoulder under. Then lift your chin, lift your chin. And then, as if you are trying to lift your navel toward the ceiling, right? So as if you're trying, just use whatever musculature you can find to lift the navel a little. And you may notice that your low back is off the floor and your neck is off the floor. Yeah, so you now have your celebrating those natural curves in your spine. So from here, if you like, arms out to your sides in a T, palms up, okay? And just gently begin to move your knees together from side to side. Start with maybe 2 or 3 inches. 2 or 3 inches. And then bring your knees back to center. All right. So we're going to do this low back release 5 times. And there are 2 ways to do it that you might like to do it. And you can mix and match, or you can do it 5 times the same way. So let's practice, if you like, each one once so that you can see how you can notice how it feels. As you breathe in, almost lift your hips, almost lift your hips. So you're pressing on your feet, pressing on your shoulders, almost lift the hips. And as you breathe out, fully release the hips. Okay? The other way to do this back release is as you breathe in, lift your hips. Maybe it's 1 inch, maybe it's 3 inches, maybe it's 4 inches. And then as you breathe out, release. Okay? So we're going to do it 5 times. Adding this, so when your hips come back down, you're going to hug in. Like that. So it will look, it will be a stretch. It goes like this. As you breathe in, almost lift the hips or lift the hips, so you can choose. And then on that long, slow breath out, hips to the floor, same long breath out. Hug the knees in toward you. Notice your low back. Okay. As you breathe in, feet to the floor, almost lift or lift the hips. Long, slow breath out, hips to the floor, hug in as gently or firmly as feels good. And you may change the way you're doing this. So you have 3 more. Breath in, feet to the floor, almost lift the hips or lift the hips. As you breathe out, hips release, same long breath out. Pull in, pull the knees in toward you. Again, firmly or gently, different days, different stretches. So now 2 more. Breath in, feet to the floor. And maybe you change this one. I'm just offering suggestions, so you can do this any way that feels good to you today. On that breath out, hips release and hug in. Okay, and then we got 1 more. Breath in, almost lift the hips or lift the hips. And as you breathe out, hips release. This time, hug in, but stay here and keep breathing. Then if you like, cross your ankles, hands to the sides, and just rock across your pelvic bones, so knees from side to side. Maybe you're rocking 1 inch, maybe you're rocking 6 inches. It's like whatever feels good to you. Whatever feels good to you. Just continuing to massage all the connective tissue in the low back. And then if you like, cross the other ankle on top. And maybe you begin to move the knees in a circle. And if you do, let me notice what's happening in your low back. If it lifts from the mat, if it presses onto the floor, and then maybe circle the other way. Any size circle. Okay. Uncross the ankles, either hands behind your thighs, pulling in, hands in front of your shins. And you may choose to stay here. Some of you might like to rock, like a rocking horse. So, like rocking like this. More massage on the spine. Just in whatever way feels good. So you can rock up and then rock back. massaging whatever you can roll on. Yeah. All right. And then if you're not already there, just hug in one more time. Okay. We'll do one hip stretch before we move to final stretch. So take a breath in, and as you breathe out, extend one leg long, and then the other knee is up. And the other knee is pulled in toward you. You just begin to circle, as though you have a crayon on the top of your knee and you're drawing a circle on the ceiling. And just circle around. Can be a very little circle, or it can be like open up to one side, straighten the legs, sweep it across the front, roll into it. So different days, different stretches. It may be that your circle is about 3 inches, and that's what feels good on that hip today. And that is what is a more beneficial stretch for you, the one that feels good. And then if you like, just reverse the direction of your circle. Right? Maybe you change the shape a little bit, maybe you don't. Maybe it's not actually a circle, you found a different way to move that feels good. And then bring that knee in towards you, and maybe just out to the side an inch or two. And circle the foot one way, circle the foot the other way. Okay, take a big breath in. And as you breathe out, release that leg to the floor. And then I'm just going to switch sides. You obviously don't need to. So bring the other leg, hug the other leg in. Right? And we're just going to do it in reverse order. So we'll start by circling the foot one way, and circle the foot the other way. Maybe bring the knee out a little bit. And then as you're ready, move that knee in a circle. Or in any shape that feels good, right? I'm just offering suggestions. A circle might not be the shape for you today. Maybe you move in a big sweeping motion. Right? Or maybe you have found that just a gentle side to side feels better. Right, so all the time that we are, maybe you circle the other way, all the time that we are lubricating this hip joint, we're also letting the back muscles release because we're using the floor as support. So all those muscles don't have to hold us up. And then draw both knees in toward you, hug in, take a big breath, and just notice the belly and the chest as you take that big breath in and then release. Okay, and now we're going to get set up for final stretch. So you can, many different ways to do that. You can sit and find a comfortable place to sit. You can lie on the floor. Some people, for final stretch, like to get about their hips are 6 inches from the wall, and they, it's called legs up the wall. So you can have your knees bent. Just always keep a little bend in your knees, or you can open the legs out. Just find a comfortable place. So give yourself a few moments to get set up. I'm going to sit, so if you're lying on the floor, it may be more comfortable for you to put something under your knees so that you don't hyperextend, right? And I don't know if you can see. Yeah, see how easy. If I tighten my leg muscles and my heels go up, that's actually not a talent. That means I'm hyperextending my knees. So that if I'm going to lie down, it's better to put something under my knees, so as I'm lying flat, I don't hyperextend. Okay. All right, so find a place to be that is comfortable for you right now. And gently move your shoulders from side to side. And then let your shoulders be still. And gently move your hips from side to side. And then let your hips be still. Gently move your heels, your feet or your heels from side to side. And let your feet be still. So eyes opened or eyes closed, your choice. You can follow along with me if you like. I'm just offering suggestions. And I start on the left side simply as a point of reference. It doesn't matter which side you start on. Right. So if you like, as you breathe in, make a fist in the left hand as tight as is comfortable. And maybe a long, slow breath out to release. So knowing that a long, slow breath out lowers muscle tension, lowers heart rate, and lowers blood pressure. Next time you breathe in, fist in, forearm tighten. And as you breathe out, release. Your next breath in, fist, forearm, and shoulder tighten. And as you breathe out, release. Breath in, just your hip. Just tighten your hip. And as you breathe out, release. Breath in. Press down on your left heel. And as you breathe out, release. So moving back to the left side of your back. Okay, so we're going to do this 4 times. First 2 times, just imagine you're doing this if you like. So imagine on your breath in that you're tightening the left side of your back. Just imagine it. And as you breathe out, imagine you're releasing those muscles. Next breath in, imagine you're tightening the left side of your back. And as you breathe out, release. Okay. Now, if you like, you can actually tighten them the best that you can. As you breathe in, tighten any muscles on the left side of your back you can find. And if you like that long, slow breath out, just notice how you can release those back muscles. Breath in, tighten the muscles on your back, left side. And as you breathe out, release. Okay. Keep breathing as you tighten every muscle you can find on the left side of your body, your jaw, shoulder, arm, fist, back, hip, leg muscles, foot muscles, tight as you would like them to be. Notice that you're still breathing. And when you have every muscle as tight as you would like it, use your next breath out, long and slow, to release. Fist, forearm, shoulder, back, hip, leg, foot. Don't tighten anything. Notice your breath in. And on a long breath out, notice your left side of your body is fully supported by the floor, chair, the wall, blanket, pillow. Notice your next breath in, chest and belly lift. And as you breathe out, notice the left side of your body get heavy. Notice the left side of your body get heavy. Okay, and before we do that tense and release on the other side, if you like, just make any adjustments in how you're situated. Make any adjustments. So maybe move your shoulders slightly, move your hips, maybe even move a blanket or a pillow, just to make yourself as comfortable as you can be right now. Okay? And then as you're ready, as you are ready, as you breathe in, make a fist in the right hand. As you breathe in, make a fist in the right hand, and as you breathe out, release. Next time you breathe in, tighten the fist and the forearm. And as you breathe out, long and slow, release. Next time you breathe in, tighten the fist and the forearm and the shoulder. And as you breathe out, release. Breath in. When you breathe in, tighten the right hip. And as you breathe out, release. Notice how just by thinking about it, you can release muscle tension. Next time you breathe in, press down on the right foot. And as you breathe out, release. Okay, so now on the right side of the back, and we'll do this 4 times. If you want to practice the first 2 times, you just envision that you're tightening the muscles, and the second 2 times, you can actually tighten. All right, so as you're ready, as you breathe in, imagine that you're tightening the muscles on the right side of your back. And as you breathe out, release. Next time you breathe in, again, imagine you're tightening those muscles. And then as you breathe out, imagine you're releasing those muscles. And then 2 more times. Next time you breathe in, actually tighten those muscles. And if you can't find them, just imagine. That's fine too. Breath out is the release whenever you breathe out. Breath in, imagine or actually tighten those muscles. And as you breathe out, release. All right. So now if you like, keep breathing as you tighten every muscle you can find on the right side of your body. Tighten the jaw, neck, shoulder, upper arm, forearm, fist, back, hip, leg muscles. Press on the foot. And when you have everything as tight as you would like it to be, use any breath out, long and slow, to release all of those muscles. Jaw, neck, shoulder, arm, fist, back, hip, leg, foot. Don't tighten anything. As you breathe in, notice the chest and belly lift. And as you breathe out, notice that the right side of your body is fully supported by your mat, pillow, floor, wall, chair. Notice your next breath in. And as you breathe out, notice the right side of your body get heavy. Notice the right side of your body get heavy. And now if you like, take one hand or both over your heart or your belly. One hand or both over your heart or your belly. Feel the breath in. Feel the breath out. Feel the breath in. Feel the breath out. And then if you like, say it to yourself 3 times, because you're always with you. You're always with you. Say it to yourself 3 times in your mind, not rushing the words, not rushing the breath. Feel the breath in. Feel the breath out. And then when you're ready, begin to put more effort into the breath in. More effort, so a deeper breath in. That is the get up and go breath, so we use that as the transition breath. And then if you like, stretch your arms out either at shoulder height or over your head behind you, hands on the floor. Stretch the fingers wide. Press your feet forward. Just take up space as you continue with that deeper breath in. Energizing breath. Continue with the deeper breath in. Stretch the fingers. Press the feet forward. And then as you are ready, take a gentle bend in your knees. Roll over onto your side if you're lying on the floor. Just give yourself a few moments there, continuing wherever you are, continuing with the deeper breath in. And then as you're ready, maybe still with your eyes closed, come up to a seat if you're not already there. Palms turned up. One shoulder back, other shoulder back. Just maybe notice before you open your eyes, notice how you feel. Right? Notice if it were an hour well spent. Maybe notice if you met your intention. Whatever reason you joined our yoga practice, just notice if you were able to make that happen for yourself. And then let's end with a plan. A plan to manage your own stress. So maybe pick one of the breaths that we practiced today. We practiced the wave breath, palms up, palms down. We practiced fist breathing, sort of. And we practiced hands over the heart. We did one fist at a time. All right, so pick one of those and we'll practice it right now. Right, so I'm just going to say, as you breathe in, hands move. So it can be whatever you have picked. So as you breathe in, hands move. As you breathe out, release. As you breathe in, hands move. As you breathe out, release. As you breathe in, hands move. And as you breathe out, hands release. As you breathe in, hands move. And as you breathe out, release. Okay, so that may be the breath part of your plan. So next time you start to feel stressed or increased heart rate or blood pressure, instead of going with it, eating it, right, just say, wait a minute, 5 breaths is enough to actually interrupt my body's stress cycle. So let me try that and then notice how it feels. And there may be one stretch that you did today that felt good. And so maybe you just do that and have that as part of your plan. So in under 2 minutes, you now have a plan to interrupt your stress cycle. Maybe you can Maybe you can teach it to somebody else, either someone in your, whoever's around, right? All right, so it was nice to have everybody join us. I hope you have a good rest of your week. We have a class on Thursday at 1. And if you would like, it would be nice if you want, we can unmute everyone. We can say hello to each other. So to each other, to end our practice, we can say,
Right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
okay, let's see.